This is Leicester Till I Die TV. Watch and subscribe on YouTube and listen on your podcast platform.
Hi everybody, Jerry Taggart here. Now be sure to watch Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV by subscribing on YouTube and following them on social media for all the latest Leicester City news and information. Come on you foxes!
Strap yourself in,
because we're set up, switched on and ready to go.
Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
and it's live.
Evening, fellow Fox fans, and I say evening because I can't bring myself to say good evening. Yes, you did just watch that. Leicester City 2, Newcastle 4. I tell you what, I think a few people actually got that prediction, but it was the Newcastle fans getting it the other way around.
I'm not really crying. I'm not really crying.
Not really. I'm crying. What a dire performance. Oh, I'm gonna bring my guests in a minute, but they know, and they're probably expecting a bit of a Chris rant here. I mean, I will stand up and say sometimes we play like Brazil, and I put it up as, you know, a bit of fun and say that was like watching Brazil. No disrespect to them, that was like watching Rochdale tonight. I actually got written, and I took my notes out, but I actually got written on my card here that tonight we played like Arsenal. I've got to be honest with you. No, we played worse than Arsenal. No disrespect, Melina, who's modding for me tonight. We were that awful. Yes, we'd lost Evans just before the game. It's happened to teams before. We can't put everything down to not having Evans. And I know some people, co-hosts here, have been quick to criticise Evans in the past. Maybe tonight showed he's not that bad a player and we actually need him there. But that said, that doesn't excuse the performance. It doesn't, it was... Do you remember the Bournemouth game last season? Yeah, it was a bit like that, wasn't it? FA Cup. I don't think we need a cup. I think we're going to have bottles because we're going to bottle it. I was ringing Brendan on his mobile saying, look, do you know where the women's team are? Get them out for the second half because they'll play better than that. I haven't got words fail me.
Leicester Till I Die TV. Your first choice for everything Leicester City. Tune in and join in now.
Good evening, gents. How are you doing?
That's funny, isn't it? How can you say good evening and ask that after that, mate? That's embarrassing what we've just discovered tonight.
Look, I'm trying to be happy here. I really, really am. I thought I kept very calm during my rant. Let's just see what other people. Melina, thanks for popping on. You've said there Leicester did an Arsenal tonight. No, we didn't. We did worse than Arsenal tonight. I actually wrote down, like I said, tonight we played like Arsenal. I don't think Arsenal could have played that badly, Somebody, I presume this might be praying that City beat Chelsea. I tell you what, we couldn't beat our way out of a paper bag if we played like tonight, could we? Could we? Playing like watching kids on a was like watching kids on a park. Yes, it was.
No, playing football.
Is there a language barrier between Soyuncu and Fofana? I don't think any of them spoke to each other tonight at all, did they? Gone downhill since the party, affected all players mentally, terrible no urgency or desire. Don't know whether you can blame the party. I just think they I just think it was just an awful performance. Brad, and I'm not even going to try and say keep this short because I don't expect you to. So, Josh, get the brew on. But
and it's while you're in there, make mine as well, mate.
We might need something stronger.
Yeah, we're going to say I think you need
something
stronger after that.
I do, certainly do. Brad, give us your thoughts, please. And remember, no swearing.
Right, well, if that's the case, then I won't bring up something that happened in the comment section at half time because apparently I don't know my left from my right on where Castagna was playing in the first half. I'm pretty sure he was playing as a centre back, predominantly on the right side, overlapping on the right side of Ricardo. But apparently, according to a certain somebody, I don't know my left from my right. That didn't help things. Tonight was a disaster from the word get-go, weren't it? From the very get-go, it was a disaster. Evans is out. Great, okay. Now, for me, logically, which we ended up doing eventually after about the third goal, I thought we'd swap that to a back four, Castagna on the left, Ricardo on the right. I don't know if that was what was supposed to be happening or what that formation was supposed to be, but until we got the third goal, Castagna was predominantly on that right side of things. Now, I don't know if he was trying to do a sweeper role or nothing, but when you've got Christian Fuchs, no matter what people's opinion are, he's an actual left back, and you've got a versatile left back in Castagna who can play left and right. I felt very sorry, even though he got a goal tonight, I felt very sorry for Albrighton because he's taken a lot of slack because he got pushed down that side with very little support. I don't understand how that went so wrong from one player being out.
Yeah. I mean, Josh, it was very confusing. I mean, we're not the first team where the players had to go off injured in the warm-up. And I actually put on I was having to change my posts in the group because I put, we've gone to a back four now. And then, no, we haven't. We've actually gone to about three. Maybe they decided it was too late to try and change things around. But, you know, if the most exciting part of this evening is Jesus' grandfather clock going off, what did you make of it?
I just want to say I think the best part of my evening is seeing Brad's glorious beard that he's got going on. The beast. That is a beast. Fair play. I appreciate that. I just think it goes to show that we can't play a back three without Evans. Really, I think unfortunately with Evans getting injured in the warm up, it was a perfect time to just go to a back four. Looked all over the place, like you say. There were no communication with Fofana or Soyuncu. And Brad's right. It looked like to me that Castagna were filling in at centre back. He didn't look comfortable there at all. Before the first goal, we got let off when they broke on us because we played the high line, and obviously Casper made that good save from St Maximan, but just pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. I think it just goes to show that, I mean, I praise Johnny Evans all the time. He's our best centre back without doubt. But it just goes to show that without him defensively, if we ain't organised, we're an absolute mess, which we were tonight, all over the place. It was shocking, really bad. It could have and should have easily been 6 or 7 to them, maybe more.
Don't say that. I mean, I blame you for the third goal because at 2-0 down, you went, this could be 3 or 4, and then about 5 minutes later, they scored. So that's on your head, Mr. Herod. I'll tell you. Mark saying, good evening, gents. Just what is wrong with Vardy, Madison, and Pierre, and they just don't seem fit. I mean, let me just do this because I normally do this at the end of the show, but I'm going to do it now because it kind of sums everything up. And if you're following us in the group, Leicester Till I Die, the group, you'll have seen it anyway. And no, I can't bring it up because I've not loaded it. That's how the sort of evening I'm having tonight.
And the evening is complete.
And the evening is complete because everything is going wrong. Just see how quick this loads. Otherwise, I'll have to move on. But man of the match. I mean, I'm glad I wasn't picking man of the match. I would have easily gone, I suppose, for possibly their goalkeeper. But this is what Alan Bennett, who does our man of the match, and he rates the team, he rates the manager. He said, our man of the match is Johnny Evans. And I've got to be honest with you, I think he played better in the warm-up than any of the players that were on that pitch during the 90 minutes. He's given the manager 1, he's given the team 2. Can you argue with that, Brad?
Yeah, I give Brendan a 0. You know what? People might think I've lost the plot here today, but I'm actually going to give the players a 5 because it ain't their fault that he put a left back or a right back at centre back and played more a left mid at left wing back. That completely crucified us. That completely crucified us. Sticking with a back 3 when Evans was out, the manager gets a 0 and the players get a 5 for actually managing, despite the fact that Newcastle going at a trails pace, to grab something from that game with 2 goals.
Yeah,
it's an absolute miracle. More of a miracle than me turning water into wine, mate.
I can turn wine into water very easily, but but Josh, I mean, I know I get exactly what Brad's saying about players and where they were playing, but even for players that when they were in the right position, they couldn't pass wind tonight. They weren't second to every ball; they were third and fourth to every ball.
Yeah, definitely. And I think just going and the comment that's just caught sort of ties into what you're saying, really. I think Pereira sticks out for me at the minute. I've said this a few times recently. He's just come back from a long injury, but to play him at wing back, if he's not fully fit, it's scandalous. Like to put him in a position where he's got to bomb up, get up, get back, get up, get back. He's not fit enough to do it at the minute, and unfortunately, and it's through no fault of his own, right now he's doing nothing for us really, because he's not getting in dangerous positions, because teams will just double up on him every single time, nick the ball off him, like it happened loads of times today, so many times, and it was just really bad. Wilf, I thought, indeed, he was terrible tonight. Maddison, awful.
Oh, yeah.
I think it sort of summed up Maddison's game at the minute, where I can't remember who found him in the box in a good position in the first half. It might have even been not long after we went 1-0 down, and the shot was just pathetic. Yeah, absolutely pathetic. And I don't know. I don't know what to say. Genuinely, I had a bad feeling about tonight before the game. But I thought worst case scenario is we get a draw and you just take the point. Yeah. But I'm struggling to find any positives.
I was nervous about tonight. I'm not going to lie, but I mean, Brad, I've been talking to a couple of other Newcastle fan sites similar to this and shows, and I was going to have one of them on, but to be honest with you, I can't stand the thought of him coming on having lost that. But I've been talking to them, and they hate their team. They think their team is the worst in the league. And I know they're not positionally. They hate their manager. And we couldn't beat that team. If we'd gone out and done that against Man City, I kind of would get it. But there was nothing there, was I mean, this is Newcastle. We can't beat Newcastle. We're not going to be good enough for the FA Cup. It's going to be the bloody Egg Cup.
The anger in me from tonight's performance and Josh's laughter there from chucking his cups up. That was the most entertaining part of the first 80 minutes, mate. I'm
here to serve. I'm here to serve.
Yeah, the anger is tactically Brendan Rodgers has just been outdone by a cabbage with a worm controlling his brain. That offends me a little bit and offends Leicester fans. But if I'm to try and swing that part of the brain that tries to be a neutral and gets the calm head on things, the only saving grace from today is it's over. And Chelsea play Man City and West Ham play Everton, and they might just bottle it as bad as we have, because that has been the thing. We've somehow been better than the likes of West Ham and Chelsea, and that is when we've been inconsistent, they've been inconsistent. So I want Man City to at least save my weekend, if not Everton, because there's nothing I can do. I'm trying to think of things I can say that will maybe take the sting out of the defeat, but apart from Miniacho making it 15 and 16, there really isn't anything.
I genuinely think there was more shape in Steve Bruce's nose than there was our setup tonight. There really was.
I tell you what, Josh.
I was wondering where you were going with that then, Josh. I'm going to be honest with you.
Going on to the point you made about Pereira, though, Chris and Josh, do you think that Pereira sometimes looks like he's not as confident as the Ricardo of old before that injury?
Definitely.
And, because he came back, didn't he? He tried to have that flair and then he got sidelined for another 5 weeks. I think there's something mentally holding him back.
Yeah, I do. I agree. I agree, mate. I think it's hard to say at the minute because obviously you can tell he's not fully fit, but I definitely think he's lost something. And like you say, it's whether he's scared of obviously getting another injury that could potentially be another long layoff for him. I agree, mate. He's definitely not the same player. He's not really attacking with intent that much anymore. He don't really seem to take his man on. Whether it's hard to say whether or not, because he's got nobody in front of him, whether he's he's scared about getting the ball away and he's got to get back regardless he's playing wing back. But yeah, I agree with you totally, Brad. I think he's lost a lot of confidence, definitely, unfortunately.
I'm going to try and bring this in now, and I don't know whether this will work, but let's see how we. I hope that's coming out your mouth and not your bottom there, Josh. That noise.
You know what? you know what? I picked the wrong week to give up smoking. I really did.
Great choice, mate.
I know.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Sorry, go on.
No, if this works, this is going to be amazing. I'm going to be really impressed with myself if this works, because it isn't doing at the moment. I'm just trying to bring up the performances here and the votes that they have. Let me just try that again. You say what you're going to say, but here we go. Here we go. There we go. So we've got. Nobody's got over a 5. Man of the match was Callum Wilson there at the moment, 8.7. But Inacho, I hardly heard him mentioned until he got the goal. I forgot he was on the pitch.
I think there was a lot of them tonight. You forgot you're on the pitch.
Yeah.
In fact, there'll be a few questions asked of those that have been left in the dark in recent weeks, like Pratt and maybe even a last hurrah for under, because there's some players that have really had their position under threat for a while and have got away with it, with the rest of the team digging them out of it. But after this one, there's some glaring issues that need to be fixed.
Yeah, you've got 2 defenders in the bottom 2 there, Pereira and Soyuncu. Maddison, 3.64. Mendy. Well, he did what he had to do, didn't he? Thomas kind of gave us something when he came on. Castagna, indeed, I don't even think these guys deserve the 3.83s. Vardy 3.84. He couldn't hit a barge pole with a barn door with a whatever. He couldn't hit anything. Thank you.
You couldn't even finish your sentence. He was that bad.
What? Literally, I was trying to think of something clean to say.
It's affected us all. Brendan Rodgers must have banged his head that hard.
But would you? Looking at those scores there, and I'm dreading if I have to click onto the Newcastle scores. Josh, do you agree with those, or that's what sort of Leicester fans are saying?
I'm just trying to make them out, to be honest with you. Nacho.
If I run down them, Inacho's the top one at 4.74. Schmeichel second at 4.66 and Albrighton third at 4.51. They are the only three that come in over 4 points.
I'd probably say that's right. Begrudgingly, really, and it's going to sound absolutely awful because obviously, Casper's made a world-class save to sort of keep us in it, before they scored the first. But I thought for two of their goals, for the second and third, he could have done a lot better. For the third goal, I know, Castagna sort of tried to back pass and it's under hit, but I'm just thinking. Maybe I'm being harsh. I don't know if you two disagree. I can't believe he's not come out of his goal sooner. He just seems to. I'm watching the telly, thinking, why ain't Casper coming out for this? Because there's a chance he could have got there. You know what I mean? Casper, he's not exactly slow, but he just stayed on his 6 yard line. I'm thinking, I don't understand this. Like, what is he doing? And then
it's a spread many approach.
Yeah, I understand. It worked for him first half, and then I thought for their second goal, there's a chance that I've said this before. Maybe he's got to come out and take chances of trying to claim the ball a bit. We're in his 6 yard box. You get fouled. Goalkeepers 90% of the time they get the benefit of the doubt and they get the foul. He just does not like coming out of his goal at all to claim anything, and I don't know. Having said that, you've got to say he was probably our best player. Nacho, maybe he gets that for his goal, like you said, Chris. I thought he was really quiet tonight. Albrighton, he did all right when he come on, but like Brad, I felt a bit sorry for him, to be honest with you. Other than that, I genuinely couldn't give anybody else above a 2, to be honest. Really couldn't.
Brad, if I say to you that Newcastle's worst scoring player vote-wise was Hendrick, and he got 6.02, and he was their worst, and and our best one got 4.74. I mean, and I don't mean to be disrespectful to Newcastle, but the table doesn't lie at the end of the day, and they, over the season, have been a goddamn awful team. That's what makes it embarrassing.
It does, although, like I said, somehow the cabbage has got Newcastle playing reminiscent to our football in The Great Escape. I don't understand how. Maybe Brendan and Steve Bruce at some point in the last 4 weeks clash heads and they swap bodies. I don't know. Maybe it's one of them experiences because there's complete contrast tonight in what has happened. But sometimes when you're down there and you hit form, it's just as good as a team at the top. It's the quality might be different, but the impacts are just the same. And it was just one of them. I agree with Josh Casper. Me, chief of the goalkeeping committee, can't defend Casper too brightly tonight. But what I can say is, should he really have been left looking from his back 4 or his back 5 or his back 3 tonight?
Yeah.
He should have not been left wanting. So
I want to say he was kind of hung out to dry for a couple of those, wasn't he?
Yeah. I mean, Cruyff turned Soyuncu, got his comeuppance today. He'll pack that in because that was ridiculous. That was ridiculous.
I don't know what he was thinking.
A newborn baby could have been born and would have done better with what he did there. That was ridiculous from Soyuncu. When one of the kids behaves and he's done something that stupid, you put him on a naughty step just for being stupid. That was one of them moments where you should have told him to go sit on the step and think about what he's done.
You know what? The crazy thing is as well. All he's got to do is take a touch in front of him. He's literally got nobody in front of him.
Did you see Fofana's reaction? Did you see Fofana's reaction? Fofana looked as if to go, nice one, he's got that. I turned around and went, what do you mean he scored? I was like, what? I mean,
incredible.
Casper. I mean, if Casper comes out for a few of them, as a goalkeeper, if you get beat still and someone dinks it over you, like Vardy nearly did to Dubravka, you hold your hands up, you go, fair enough, he's done me. I'm a decent height, I've got a leap on me. I've been beat, fair dues. It was questionable, but again, like Chris said, it was hung out to dry.
Yeah.
It was hung out to dry.
Yeah, maybe I'm being a bit harsh.
I'm going to ask you, because Scott's made this point. I mean, is this part of Brendan's plan that if he plays like this, that Spurs won't come in for him, and then he doesn't have to make the decision.
I bloody hope not.
I mean, you know what? Scott raises a very good point there. I love Brendan, but I think tonight he got it so wrong. His subs, I cannot, like, I think with the Under situation now, it's got to the point with Under where he clearly can only play another game or so before we have to sign him, because there's no reason at all why Thomas had he were all right when he come on. Thomas and Mendy, when you need a goal, Under's not getting a chance. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I thought that I couldn't believe my eyes when I seen the subs coming on. I genuinely couldn't. I was baffled.
Mate, we
really
took off
was.
a central defensive midfielder to put on an attacking midfielder to take someone off to put a central defensive midfielder on. If we can't figure it out, I don't know who can. Oh, tonight has wound me up. I'm wearing the wrong shirt and everything. Tonight has really wound me up. I'm sorry, lads. I'm going to take my sleeping pills tonight and get some rest.
If that is the case, George, sorry. I thought my rant was bad, Brad, but come on here, you know. If that is the case with Under Josh, why even put him on the bench?
Exactly.
You know,
who knows?
I mean,
who knows? I can't. That's the only explanation I could think of. That he has to make a certain amount of appearances, and then we have to sign him. Brendan don't want him. I generally don't know how he's not got a game tonight. At 4-0 down, give him a chance, and you bring Luke Thomas on, and like Brad just said, you take off a central defensive midfielder to bring another one on 5 or 10 minutes later. What's all that about? It baffled me. It's mind-boggling.
Does everybody want cheering up just for 2 seconds? I'm just going to... Things, could be worse. As Melina says there, she's an Arsenal fan and they're out of Europe for the first time in 25 years. So, hey, in the great scheme of things. But Melina, and I'm going to pass this one over to you, Brad, get like a hot potato. Is Brendan Rodgers out of his depth after tonight? Are Fox's fans started to doubt the potential? Tonight was woeful. To play the devil's advocate before you answer that, Brad, it is at the end of the day one game.
Yeah, it is.
We have sung his praises after a good game, and go on.
This is one of them where I think maybe in a few days' time we'll all look back on it and go, he's just lost the plot. The lad's just lost the plot on a night where, I think maybe everybody underestimated Newcastle despite the run they're on, despite the warning signs. With Callum Wilson back and that Arsenal's best player on loan at Newcastle, the irony, is back in the squad because he couldn't play against them, obviously, last week. And I think we've just completely, when you draw a blank on like a really easy question, like what's 2 + 2, and you just can't remember the answer for love nor money. It feels like that's just happened tonight with the players and the tactics from that warm-up and what happened. And let's remember, until tonight's disastrous results, apart from West Ham, Leeds, and the Arsenal game, we've been pretty consistent this season, and we're where we are, where we are, and we're looking a lot more like a top 4 side for a lot longer this season than we have over the last couple of weeks with, Southampton and Newcastle results. So let's just hope this is a mad moment where we've just completely had a West Brom 5-2, like Chelsea did.
I was going to say that. Yeah.
Our
right.
record against the top 6 holds strong and we get enough through these last 3 games. If we don't, then you question Rodgers. I've said that before and I've said it again. If we drop out of top 4 now, then you have to question the manager.
Mm-hmm. Josh, is this not what Man City fans felt like after we beat them 5-2 at the start of the season? I mean, you do have games like Josh just said then, Chelsea, West Brom. You have games like this. We had Bournemouth last season. It would just be like Leicester, would it not, Josh? Now, to go out, stuff Man United 4-1, win the FA Cup, And yeah, you can see that happening with Leicester, couldn't you?
It wouldn't surprise you, would it? And then, next week shows everybody's happy and buzzing. We're all,
Yeah.
patting each other on the back. I think, you know what it is? I think, we've post-match shows like this after a result like today, you sort of have to take it with a pinch of salt because it's still raw. You're just coming off of what the 90 odd minutes we just sat through. We're all annoyed. I think you're right. I think maybe tomorrow, come Sunday, it'll be at the back of my mind, and I just thought, you know what, it sort of is what it is. Just look forward to the game on Tuesday, and then obviously it's a massive weekend for us next week. Hopefully, it's just a bad day at the office. I'd like to think it is a bit of a learning curve for Brendan, I guess.
And let's remember who Chelsea and West Ham are both playing this weekend.
Yeah,
they're playing Man City and Everton away as well, respectively, for West Ham, which is vital. So you don't know yet. Like, I think that's the best way to see it. How Josh has said it.
I mean, Josh made the point there. Yeah, we do these shows, and this is our first season of doing this sort of thing. And I thought it would help with my anxiety and depression. My God, what was I?
You thought supporting Leicester City would help with that, and then talking about it.
One day the camera will come on, I'll just be hung here with a rope round my neck.
We all need counselling after this.
But we know this season, don't we? And I'm kind of calming down now, I suppose. But we've been there, seeing it. Got the T-shirt this season. To quote a Burnley fan from when I lived in Burnley and who was on the TV. You win one, you lose one. You win one, you lose one. It's kind of been that sort of season, hasn't it? Josh or Brad, either of you talk to me. Sorry, I didn't say your name now. I was talking to you, Brad. I thought you were going to continue. Sorry.
Go on, Brad.
Yeah, it is weird, isn't it, football? And that's Leicester. How many draws have we had this season?
Many of them.
About three or four. Can't be too many, can it?
Hang on 1 second. We've had 6.
Okay, so we've had 6, and that's our 10th or 11th loss this season, is it?
10th, yeah.
That's 16 out of, and that's game number 35 we've played now, isn't it?
It is.
That's quite a lot of missed opportunities.
You've done your homework there, Brad, haven't you?
Yeah, there's been quite a few missed opportunities for the season. Last season we kind of went on that unbelievably bad run, didn't we? And I think I just think that it's just typical of Leicester's kind of form. It somehow stayed the Leicester way like it was in the 90s, where they lose or win. There's no in between. Very rarely is there any in between. And somehow we found ourselves in an upper echelon version of the 90s, where we're challenging for top 4. So you just got to take it as it is, really. Like I said, we've kind of taken the sting out of it by laughing and joking between ourselves, and it's all you can do after a game like that. There's not really much you can do after you shouting and let the steam off.
Just have a drink, or not a good week to get. You reminded me, Josh, of the I don't know if you saw that film Airline. They would say not a good week to give up smoking this.
Definitely.
I forgot what I was going to say now, but I mean, would Man United, would Chelsea have been sat there watching us tonight going, Jesus, they're going to be easy? Josh, would you say?
Not really, because when we turn up and we play, we'll beat anybody. We've shown that this season. I think the Chelsea FA Cup final. It's one of them where in any cup game, it's a one-off. You can't. I don't really think. I'm one of them that believes in a one-off game. You can't really go by form, really, because anything can happen. The Man United game, I think they've, as we all know, we've seen recently, they've got a lot of games. I think they've got 4 games in 8 days. So hopefully it's one of them where they'll look at Sunday against Liverpool and they'll maybe put the stronger side out for that. Maybe play a few resis against us, and hopefully we'll pick up a decent result. But as much as we were shocking tonight, I I don't really think in that, like Brad said, I don't really think in that many games we've played that bad this season where I've just sat here stunned and thought, what is going on? Tonight's unfortunately one of them games, but I don't think they'll be looking at this thinking, now we'll steamroll these, because when we play and when we get it right, and I think we could beat anybody. So I don't think that's the case, mate. No.
I'm going to make the most of Brad talking stats here, because as Melina said before, Jesus wants the stats out, Chris. Get your stats out for the lads, Brad. I actually wasn't. You know me. I've stopped actually quoting these now. You've actually worn me down, Brad. No, I haven't been doing this for a few weeks, but I'm actually looking at this now, and I can't believe what I'm about to say. If I ask the both of you, quick, how many shots do you think we had tonight?
21.
I was going to say 12, 13.
I was very much with Josh there. Brad is just a know-all, isn't he, Josh? That's all he is. You know, he's Jesus. He's got a line up to God saying, "What's the answer, God?" We actually had 25 shots tonight. That really surprised me that we had that many. That said, Newcastle had 14. Fair dues to them. But Brad, there's been more goals scored at the King Power this season than any other ground in the Premier League.
Great. Do we get a trophy for that?
Might be the only trophy we end up with.
Well,
I was quite surprised with that stat. I thought it might be Ellen Road, you know.
I think most of them have been away from home when they've conceded a lot, though.
Yeah. Well, we're not saying we've scored the most or we've conceded the most, but there's been the most goals.
But another cup we're going to win this season is we've scored the most goals in the last 15 minutes a game. So that's 2 trophies in the bag.
Yes, we do.
We're 23 now because we scored 2 tonight. We was at 21 before Albrighton scored, or maybe that took us to 21. I'm not 100%.
Well, we were second, I think, to Man United for goals scored, at the ground, but we overtook them tonight. Josh, I said in the pre-match that we needed to score the first goal, or it could all go horribly wrong. How right I was.
Yeah. You know what? I think first 5, maybe 10 minutes, we actually started okay. To be honest with you, that's the crazy thing. We had a couple of decentish half chances. But you're right. I mean, at the minute, it sort of seems like we go a goal down, and like the South. So as you look back on the Southampton game, you're sort of thinking, God, we've got to try and break these down here now, because you go a goal down and everybody on Sky is like, oh, remember Leicester's capitulation last season? Yeah. I'll be honest with you. Sky absolutely loved it tonight, because obviously it's more drama for them, and I think secretly they're hoping that one or two of the other greedy 6 make the top 4 and everything's going to go back to normal. So in the end, I got that annoyed with the commentary, and I suppose it was down to how we were playing as well. I turned the commentary off. Couldn't listen to it. I couldn't listen to it.
Actually, just saying about, I actually feel sorry for, and Alan Smith, he's done a bit for Leicester till I die. So I do, and he's an ex-player, so I do have respect for Alan Smith. And the commentator said something to him about Arsenal, and he said, I don't really want to talk about Arsenal at the moment. Let's concentrate on Leicester. I mean, he was getting it from both barrels, wasn't he, Brad? Whichever team he wants to talk about.
Yeah, bless him. I know Alan Smith can be a bit like Marmite with some fans. I obviously wasn't alive when he played, and only have seen bits of it. And I know he obviously loved Arsenal. I know, right? I know obviously about his time at Leicester and his moves to Arsenal and all that. Yeah. But sometimes I'm actually glad for a change. He turned around and said, let's not talk about Arsenal, because they do like to do that at Sky. They like to make his comparisons always between Arsenal and Leicester every time he's on. So it was different. I actually did the most unthinkable thing and went onto the BBC radio to listen to it, because I couldn't watch it at 4-0. So I can't help with the goals, by the way, because I only know that they went in the top corner and the bottom corner. I don't know how they came about. I just heard them.
So basically, I am the only one that put up with the total shite for the whole game, listening and watching.
I still watched it, but I just listened to it.
This is what I do,
all
guys.
right,
This is what I do
Arkansas.
for this channel. I put myself through this.
Josh
Josh,
is after a pay rise. There we go.
Oh,
Right
that's
on
it.
cue. Grandfather
hang on,
clock.
hang on. This is the most exciting thing that's going to happen tonight. Josh's cuckoo clock going off.
It's not
Yeah.
mine.
That's sorry, Brad's cuckoo clock going off, you know.
The infamous grandfather clock.
But then again, we had sort of 15 cuckoos on the pitch tonight, didn't we? Brad, the comment there from Brookline, indeed he has been mediocre this year. There's a huge gap between him and Canty. Is that fair?
No, not even slightly fair. And I understand what Brookline's saying, but here's the thing: what have Chelsea been doing? Especially under Tuchel, what have they actually been doing a lot of with the likes of Kante, which has made a lot of Chelsea fans like puzzled at sometimes. They've not played him every game. And I know we've had our injury problems, but for the last 6 to 8 weeks, you know, we've had games like you've pointed out tonight, and Josh has said we've got like 4 games in the space of a week. Over the last like 7 or 8 games, he's had the chance, especially when we've played certain teams and been like out of sight or the result was gone in one way or another, where he could have gave Indeedy 15-minute breaks. These players aren't inhuman. Now, I agree. Tonight he was mediocre, and like Josh said, I agree. It was one of his worst games as a Leicester shirt. But do you remember Tillemans' burnout last season? But kept getting 90 minutes, but was burnt out. And everybody said it, but nothing was done about it. We're making the same mistake with Wilfred and Ndidi. You've got to care for these players. And I know it's difficult with all the injuries we've had, but we've had a fully fit Mendy available to us. So there's no reason, you know, when we're 3-0 up against West Brom, he couldn't have put Mendy on and gave him 40 minutes. So some care has to go to the manager on that one.
I'm just going to say, fair do. Ethan 9, Newcastle fan here. Huge win tonight. Got nervous at 4-2, but a fully deserved win. You did, mate. You deserved it totally. You know, you know, as I posted, you know, you were 17th, we were 3rd, really, you know. But then he does go on to say here, still hope you get top 4. Love Leicester. Let's hope you get UCL football next year. Would you rather win the FA Cup final and finish 5th, or lose the final and finish in the top 4? We've done that recently, guys. Very, very quickly. Just a straight answer. For me, it's the FA Cup and 5th. Josh?
Both.
You chicken out. You chicken out. Brad, you can't chicken out.
FA Cup and 5th.
Yeah,
one of the most prestigious contests. I want to win it.
This is for you then, Josh. You can answer this one, seeing as you chickened out of that one. Other than bad tactics today, this is from David S. Other than bad tactics today, what do we have in the locker that you see we can overwhelm the remaining teams on our last 4? If we lose Evans, for example, and he did go off on crutches, I believe, where does the improvement come from?
I guess you look at the teams we've got to play. They might come out as a bit more. Maybe we could sort of revert back to maybe counter-attacking football. But having said that, you know, Chelsea defensively at the minute look absolutely outstanding. Man United defensively aren't too bad. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I'm hoping it's just like we said earlier. It's just one of them games where they do happen. You know, look, it's completely similar to the Bournemouth result last season, where we just completely capitulated.
I did. In fact, Scott told us on the pre-match show he'd read somewhere that Ollie might start resting some players. I mean, we've got to remember Ollie's got to win the Europa League, because Jose won the Europa League and finished 2nd, and he got sacked. So it's the minimum that Ollie's got to do. So he's got to have his mind on that. I'm just going to read out a post that's just come up on Facebook, and this does sum Leicester up, but we just love doing it the hard way. Everton beat West Ham, Man City beat Chelsea, then we go and beat United Tuesday night before winning the cup final next week and taking 4 points from our last 2 games. that would be Leicester, wouldn't it, Brad? That would be Leicester.
It would, and it'd also be typical of Leicester to go and lose to Manchester United, have the threat of position, still win the FA Cup, and then beat Chelsea in the league, and have Spurs beat Arsenal into the Europa League spots by letting Spurs beat us on the last day in like a 5-4 thriller, like a few years back. It's just a Leicester way to do it the difficult way. There's no way we do things easy.
No. Okay, I'm just going to say this because, he's only got 2 results right all season. But Steve Lynett, you're going to have to give up now with the reverse psychology. You predicted a 1-0 to Newcastle, hoping that it would be wrong as everything else has been all season. We kind of got those scores totally wrong, didn't we? None of us could saw that coming at all. But this time next week, Josh, we're going to be shitting it, aren't we? We've got the night before the FA Cup final. If we don't put a performance in against Man United in the week, and even if let's say we draw, but we literally have the most amazing game, we're going to be scared as hell going up Wembley way, surely.
I think so. Excuse me. I'm sort of of the mindset now that going into the final, obviously, it's going to be nerve-wracking, and I think I might be back on the cigarettes bar then, to be honest with you. But I think I'm sort of looking at the way Chelsea are playing now. I think with the way they're performing, we are going to go into it as slight underdogs, which suits me fine, to be honest with you. I'm just hoping, like you say, for a better performance against United on Tuesday, just so it gives us a bit of confidence going into the final. I mean, you don't know. Maybe the final are at the back of the players' heads tonight in the game, you could sort of. I mean, I'm clutching at straws here, really, but maybe that come into play a little bit. They've got one mind on that, and hopefully that was the case, sort of.
It's very easy to say that these guys are paid well, they're professionals, they should be able to go out and put things to the back of the mind. But, we've all been there at work, and, let's say, we've got a review coming up, and, at 3:00 in the afternoon, and that affects how you are at work, doesn't it, Brad, all day? Because that's coming up.
Yeah, it does. Of course it does. You can't help but think of that big thing. I'm pretty sure that even if it wasn't at the start of the season, them players would have known at some point. We know we've got ambitious owners. We've always had brilliant, fantastic owners in respect to what they do for the club and what they've done ever since. But they're ambitious. Remember, one of their boldest statements they made was they wanted Leicester to be contending for Europe within 5 years. And they technically did that in the most fantastic way in the first 5 years of their tenure, but they've got ambitions. They're right for the club, we know, as people. But I think maybe there could be, and I don't like it, but I think Josh does have a thing. I don't think you're actually clutching at straws, mate. With Chris's point, I honestly think you could be right. Some of them players, especially the showboaters, Madison, maybe are thinking, this is where I'm going to throw my eggs into one. Because you do that, don't you? As a mentality as a player, you maybe look at Newcastle and they've disrespected them tonight, or tired, or whatever the reason it's happened. And then we're maybe thinking, if we can get away with it against Newcastle and pinch something off Manchester United and do that at 80% and come away with the FA Cup, it'll gloss over. In fact, it's not such a bad thing. And I'm not saying it'll gloss over a bad season or anything, because it's been a fantastic season. Let's not forget what we've been asking for. As far as start of the season objectives have gone over the last 2 seasons, unless something really badly happens, we're going to get it, which is European football on a consistent basis. Maybe there is a few heads out there that are thinking, I'll give 110% and bring the FA Cup home. And if they do that, then it's ambition, it's progress.
I mean, let's Josh, I mean, let's say it all goes a bit wrong again. And, you would hope that even if we don't finish 4th, we'd finish 5th. Chelsea, I don't know, Chelsea and Man City win the Champions League. It goes down a bit further. So, we could finish 6th and still get Europe. that's still not bad. I mean, we've got to remember we're Leicester City. We're not
Yeah.
Man City. We're not Chelsea. We're not one of the so-called, as you call them, greedy six. We are Leicester City. So it will be disappointing. Obviously, it will when we've been there again all season. But, you know, and I'm not going to say I'm one of these that, I remember Yeovil on a wet Tuesday night. But, you know, looking at where we were and looking at what we've got, disappointing, yes. End of the world, no.
Definitely, mate. And I think it's a really good point that you raised there. It'd be disappointing, you know, if we do miss out on Champions League. But I know, and we spoke about it a couple of weeks ago, that for me, it wouldn't be as disappointing as it was last season because of the points gap we had last season. The fact that, you know, our last 3 games this season are really, really tough games. We've won a couple of games, but teams below us have won games, so the points gap's never really been that big. Excuse me. We all want Champions League football, and, you know, we're hoping now that we can, you know, just get over the line and get it done. But like you say, Chris, having said that, you know, I think sometimes I've always said winning the league were the best thing to happen, the worst thing to happen to us, because I think it's sort of it made us not self entitled as such, but, you know, when you've had that high, and, you know, in English domestic football,
we got ambitions above our station after that, didn't we?
Yeah, exactly. Really? Exactly. Yeah, and you sort of think, you know, had we not won the league when we did, like looking at it now, where we are now, and even after tonight's result, we'd still be buzzing, thinking, oh my God, like, we're third in the league, FA Cup final, and I don't know. We're sort of, I guess it's sort of spoiled us at the time. We all want the best for the club, don't we? But I think you're right, Chris. I mean, it'd be disappointing, but definitely not the end of the world, because we are going in the right direction. You know, it'd still be, even if it is Europa League, so be it. It's European football again next season. You can still attract decent players, really good players, and make the squad stronger.
I'm going to ask this with you, Brad, taking up a point Josh said there, because. And I've made this point on a couple of shows now. So our last 3 games, taking out the FA Cup, Man United, Chelsea, Spurs. People are saying it's a difficult finish. Why is it a difficult finish? It's not like we're not like we're sort of Fulham and we're playing the top of the league. We're only just behind Man United. We're above Chelsea. We're above Tottenham. We're as difficult for them to play as they are for us to play. You know, all season, we've been on par with these teams. We've been better than some of those teams from a lot of the season. We shouldn't be looking at that as a hard end. You know, we should be looking at it as sort of, tough, but not, not impossible, because we're as good as, we've been as good as them. We've stood in that ring with them this past 2 seasons, and we deserve to be where we are. And I honestly think we're putting ourselves down a lot when we say that.
Yeah, I don't think that's more for. I think the emphasis on the toughness of the opposition we're playing is definitely media influenced. It's a lot of press. Last season's capitulation has not helped, because, like Josh said, it's completely polar opposites this season to last season. We're not capitulating. It's not like we've lost 6 of the last 7 and only picked up a point. We came into these last 3 games, Newcastle, Southampton, and West Brom, expecting 7 points, and we came away with 4. That was the worst case scenario. At the end of the day, if you're going to put it on paper, they should be more afraid of us than we should of them, because our away record is phenomenal this season. And we've got Manchester United away and Chelsea away. And to stretch the point even further, we've got 3 games left with, what's our point gap on Chelsea?
2.
2.
Quite possibly.
Right.
Let's have a look. Yeah, it is 2. With obviously they've got a game in hand. Yeah.
So let's just say West Ham and Everton draw, right? Or lose, even better. Everton win the game and they stay 5 points clear. Right. That means there's 3 games to go. West Ham's running isn't the easiest. I know they've got teams like Southampton to play at that point, which won't be easy. Chelsea's last 4 games consist of Man City and us. It's still in our hands. And away from home, I've got a lot of faith that we can go out in them games and get 4 points from Chelsea and Manchester United. There's no reason we can't if we turn up and we get our SHIT together.
Yeah. Josh, this was a point that Melina made a long time ago in the chat, and I've been saving it for. I want to ask you this now. We'll take Brendan Rodgers at Arsenal if you guys don't want him anymore. I mean, I was on a Spurs chat yesterday morning, and I should say thank you to Brad for standing in for me. Otherwise, I'd have had to. I did 4 shows yesterday. If it wasn't for Brad, I'd have had to have done 5. So there was a lot going on yesterday. But I ended up not planned on this Spurs chat, giving reasons why Brendan wouldn't go to Spurs. I mean, yeah, we've questioned his tactics tonight. There's no way I want him gone. There's no way I want him gone at all. I want him here, and I want him here for the next 2, 3. Well, as long as we can keep him.
Definitely. And I mean, again, we're quick to praise the players and Brendan when they do stuff right. So it's only fair that we can criticise us from our armchairs where we think it's gone wrong tonight. But no, for me, he's one of the best managers we've had in a long time. I think he is. Tactically tonight, obviously, it weren't great, and I've questioned his substitutions, which I don't think it's gonna take me maybe a couple of months to get over. To be honest with you, the decisions that he made. But no, he's outstanding, mate, and I suppose he's sort of buying into his sort of the project that we're trying to build. I can't see him going anywhere. But then again, Celtic fans said that and he left. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. But as much as we all banter Spurs, they are a big club. They've got a good setup. They've got an amazing stadium. So I don't think he'd want to leave. Personally, I don't think he would. He's got a good thing going with us, and like I say, FA Cup final, top 4 so far in the league, potentially Champions League football next season. It'd be stupid to leave.
Scott, thanks for the question. This is going to be interesting. I'm going to put it to Brad first, and then we'll come on and see if Josh disagrees or not. How many points do we get out of the final 3 games?
I think we can get 4. Let's not forget one of them is Spurs. I think there's only 2 hard games we've got out of the last 3, so I think we can definitely win one of them. So I go with 4. I think 4 would still be enough. Sorry.
And Josh?
6.
The lose don't get him out.
I think we can beat United.
Yeah.
And I think we'll beat Spurs last game of the season as well.
See, I've gone 7 because I think we will beat United. I think we'll beat Spurs, and I think we could get a draw off Chelsea, depending how the FA Cup goes. So, yeah, I mean, we're all being positive. We're all being positive there.
It's a turn of events. After we discussed tonight's results, I was expecting 0-0 and optimistic. I'm leaving, lads. I'm going. I've entered the wrong room.
You've converted us. Would 4 points be enough, Brad?
Yeah. Like I said, look, you're looking at that and you're thinking, West Ham have still got a hell of a job to overturn. Like I said, they've not got an easier run-in. In comparison, yeah, but they've still not got the easiest of run-ins. They've got Everton this weekend. They've then got Southampton at some point in that run-in. I cannot remember the other 2 games. But what you're essentially asking them to do, and Chelsea to do, is get a minimum 6 points out of 4 games. And if Chelsea don't do that in the next 2 games, because they either draw or lose to us, and they lose or draw to Man City, I just don't see them doing it. I think 4 points would be enough, and 6 is definitely. So I just don't see how them 2 teams, because let's remember that all this rubbish about if Arsenal win the Europa League and Chelsea drop to 5th and win the Champions League. It's all irrelevant now because there's 2 teams that have to overtake us. We are still 3rd in that league.
Yeah. And Arsenal not being in the finals done us a really big favour. Sorry, Melina, but I know you were in tears last night, but it did us a big favour. Josh, got the bad performance out the way, do you think? And put it behind us. Do it now rather than later.
Hopefully, and you know what? I'm really glad I came on because I do feel better about it now. To be honest with you, I think. Can
I just say, somebody about a few months ago, and I've got the post somewhere. It's actually part of a graphic I've got. That somebody says that this show is a bit like therapy.
It is. You should start charging.
Yeah. You know what? I think it's from obviously at the start of. From the start of the show, what is it, an hour ago now, and how down we were to now, it is what it is, mate. It's a result that I've sort of forgot about it now, having calmed down. It's Leicester, innit? Saying we never do things the easy way, and we're not a boring team to support, are we? It's we're literally all or nothing, really, isn't we? So
yes. I mean, like I said, I just hope that is you're going to have a. And I saw somebody post earlier that it was a bad day at the office, but we've been saying that a lot this season. But then a lot of clubs have. A lot of clubs have. Nobody really. All right, Man City at the moment, but they had a bad start. I can remember after sort of 4 or 5 games, there was Man City fans calling for Pep's head. I mean, I bet they've disappeared now. It's been.
Let's not forget. Sorry, Chris. Go on, finish.
No, carry on.
I was going to say, let's not forget what you literally stated. Point completely taken. Everybody's saying, we've said it a lot this season, but the following teams are below Leicester City in the league: Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, Tottenham, and those that were expected early season to be in and around where we are, Everton and West Ham. That's some big clubs that we're ahead of. So maybe here and there in the last 4-5 weeks we've dropped. We've had a performance or a half of football sometimes that's been bad, but we're still ahead of a good 7 or 8 teams that on paper you would give a shout at a fair go at saying are supposed to be better than Leicester, supposed to be being the key word. So it may feel a bit more consistent because you can hear the Jaws music getting louder and louder with the teams below us, but it's one of them where we're still ahead of them. Whether we're going to keep the leg or we're going to get away with losing a knee or something, I don't know. Well, they are behind us in the table.
I was feeling all right. I don't know now.
The Jaws music.
Dude.
Yeah. Dude. You can feel the knee ligaments getting chewed through already.
Guys, thanks very much for coming on. I'm going to ask you this. Brad first, can we do it? Can we still stay? Can we keep top 4?
Yes.
Josh?
Yeah, of course we can. I was hoping we'd string this out for another 40 minutes because I was hoping to hear Brad's cuckoo clock again.
Tune in to next episode, Josh. Next post.
I'm happy to talk for 40 minutes,
But yeah, I think we'll be all right for top 4. I really do. But if we don't and we get Europa, so be it, Chris.
I mean, I'm just looking here. Rodgers disappointed by Newcastle defeat. No shite, Sherlock, but excited for top 4 challenge.
He's got to be. I'm saying it, really.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes when they interview these people straight after the game, what do they expect them to say?
I don't think the bleep machine has enough battery power to do a straight interview with Rodgers after that, because I think it'd take you back to the 80s when boots used to get thrown around in the changing rooms.
Yes.
And have you ever seen Mike Bassett's Football Manager?
Yes.
Yeah, the Mexican scene. I won't do it, but that comes in my head. That came in my head at 4-0.
We're better
England
than the
lose
Mexicans.
4-0. I thought, here we go. I'd have liked to see that interview. Just water bottles going everywhere.
Well, this is what Mark Albrighton said. It was just mistakes. We switched off at vital times. You can't do that against any team in the league, and we paid for it tonight. It wasn't just mistakes, was it, Josh? It was the whole performance. You can't say that we played really well and we made 4 mistakes.
Again, I think was sort of, I suppose players and managers have got to be really careful what they say. I think deep down, if they wanted to be honest about it, they'd just come out and say we were all just absolutely shocking. And obviously, this is like Brad just said. You know, the bleep machine would be off the charts. I guess what more can he say? I guess really. Sando, he's got to be as diplomatic as he can. I guess he's got to keep sort of everybody on side, the fans, and obviously his teammates.
The last thing the fans need to see is them kicking, verbally kicking 7 shades of shite out of each other on it and saying, "Oh, it's this one's fault. Manager got it wrong. We got it wrong on this." You have
to applaud Brendan Rodgers for his management style, and I did say this on the Spurs Zone channel. He the way he dealt with the Leicester 4 with the party and what have you. It was, although we were all annoyed at the time, he handled it very well because there was no public criticism of them. Although, they were obviously dropped from the team, but he was just. Well, here we go. Let's see what else Brendan said here. It's very easy to analyse. It was a game in which we made so many mistakes, that word again, and you can't afford to do that. And then he goes on to say it was uncharacteristic. It's young players. You can see the first goal is a poor mistake. You don't have time to relax and Cruyff out the situation. And there were other mistakes as well. It happens.
See, I'm like Brendan. Sign me up. I'll be his assistant. Get me in there. I noticed it.
And then on Johnny Evans' absence being disruptive. Now, this actually is very, very interesting. He said it's very disruptive. He is the brain in our defensive line. He is a great talker. Soyuncu and Fofana are both individuals. They are both fantastic talents, but here's the brain who organises it. It was a big blow for us.
Definitely. Summed it up perfect.
Yeah. But again, credit to Brendan. One thing we cannot fault him for is he knows how to handle himself in front of the camera, in front of the lads, because he's probably used them exact same words in the changing rooms. He's probably gone there and gone, some of you need to pack them mistakes in. Pat them Cruyff turns in, lads, because that's what's cost you tonight. That would be the message they've been sent. I love the fact that me and Brendan on that wavelength. I like that.
Okay, so putting you on Brendan's wavelength then, Brad, would it have been as disruptive if Fofana had pulled up in with a warm-up and happened to play, or Soyuncu?
I think it's just as disruptive on the fact that obviously they prepared a complete plan and around a back 3. That was quite clear by the fact that we all expected a back 4 when we heard about Evans' injury, and they still tried to stick with the back 3. So it can be destructive anyway. And one thing that I have to hold my hands up and say that when I almost demanded that Johnny Evans tweak his game from pace to using his footballing brain, it's quite clear that I should be Brendan's number 2, because even I know that Evans is clearly the brains in the operation, not the pacemaker at the 3 at the back. I'm not trying to blow my own trumpet too much, but you get giddy over score results, so I'm allowed in my moment, Chris.
Hey, I'm not interrupting you. I'm letting you have your moment here.
Yeah. But,
Josh, don't worry. I'll edit it out later. I'll edit it out. Don't worry. Yeah. Carry on, Brad.
I'm not in the show, if that's the case. But no,
if you're not in the show, mate, we've been going for 1 hour, 9 minutes. If you're not in the show, that would just have 9 minutes.
It'd just be your your rant and Joff's answers. But no, it'd be disruptive, but in a different manner, wouldn't it? It'd be disruptive for the obvious reasons that it was. Tactically, we hadn't got a plan B, which I think was a bit naive. I don't know. I'm not a football manager. None of us here are. We're all armchair managers when we're watching the game and playing our football managers. But on a serious note, we obviously prepared for that tactic to work and how we could change it up using that system.
Yeah.
And obviously we've got to take into account, and it's not an excuse, but maybe the plan B can't be used because we haven't got a right winger that Brandon likes to use, because we all know that Perez cannot do that position, and whatever reason Under's not playing it. And we don't have a left winger. Everybody forgets. Let's not forget that was our original go-to. We had a left and a right winger, and we've had to adapt that. And maybe that's what's completely done it. It's the only reason Castagna plays centre-back, in my opinion. But, that might have been the situation. Anything can disrupt a team if it's that close to kick-off.
Yeah. Let's come straight back after this.
You are watching and listening to Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and your favourite podcasts.
That didn't work for me. I hope it worked for you guys. It's getting late, so I didn't realise. I forgot it was a late kickoff, and looking at the time, let's just. We're hopeful for Man United. We've got to give credit to Newcastle. They came, they did the job. I think they wanted it more than us. It was the Newcastle that knew they had to sort of get some points to survive, rather than the Newcastle that thought, well, we should be safe. Brendan will have them fired up for Man United, weren't you, Josh?
Yeah, I think so. And again, just going on what you said, I mean, I'll hold my hands up. I said a few months ago I thought Newcastle would go down. But I like Newcastle. I'm glad they're staying up. They are a massive club, and you want to see teams like them in the Premier League, and they should never really be. As much as they played poorly this season, you look at the squad on paper, and I suppose attacking wise, they've got some really good players. So I'm glad they're sticking around for another season. Hopefully, they can kick on next year. Again, I think because the games are coming so thick and fast now, and the season's going to be over in 2 weeks. It's quick.
What are we going to do, guys? What are we going to do?
It's a quick turnaround, and you just, like you say, you just got to hope that the lads they're going to be up for Tuesday, because they've got to see it as another opportunity to really cement this top four, this top four place. Because now you look at it, we've got the FA Cup final, but altogether towards the last 4 games, they're all cup finals to me now.
Yeah, good point, and well put, Brad. Last question here. It would be Leicester. I mean, we look at what's happened today. Top's turned up there tonight, the first time in whenever. But he's glad he came over, isn't he? Yeah. But you look at Newcastle, and you look at they've got Mike Ashley. You look at the Glazers at United. You look at Kroenke at Arsenal, Levy or whoever it is at Tottenham. Our cup is definitely more than half full, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I've said it, and I will still say it now, even after tonight. One game doesn't change a season. Certainly, it shouldn't anyway. I will stand on and fight anybody that says we don't have the best owners in all of England, if not up there in one of the top 5 easily for around the world as best owners. They have run this club the way every one of them greedy 6, right? Every one of their fans would want an owner like us. Looks after the club, looks after it financially well, improves it, buys into the dream, listens to the fans. And I have come out and said this on numerous people that say that our owners just pump money into the club. I work for that club, right? And I can tell you on more than one occasion they have paid for travel, breakfast, and free beers for not just the home fans, the away fans. I know Sunderland and Liverpool. I know at least one of them, it was torrential weather. They got caught up in traffic, and the owners refunded their stuff and given free vouchers at the bar. So our owners are one of the best. They care for football, and that's what them greedy 6. The fans of the greedy 6, should I say, want in their football club.
Yeah. Very, very last question for you then, Josh. A lot of people on here saying, can I get a refund on my cup final ticket? I mean, there's a lot of us would probably, take those, and they're moaning that they've got to pay 45 quid for the coach, and you're just going to make everybody, I don't know what they want, to be honest with you. The fact that they can go, or some of us can go.
I'll take it if they're moaning that much at the price. I'll pay it.
But Josh, as Brad said earlier, how often have the owners given free travel? Have they given a breakfast when you get to the club? And I sometimes think we moan on here, but I think they've taken a bit of unfair criticism just recently.
Just a bit, mate. Just a bit. And you got to think as well, like, throughout COVID, not just us, but so many teams that they've lost so much money. So I think, if you're lucky to get enough, if you're lucky enough to get a ticket to Wembley, then, and you sort of disheartened about paying 40 odd pound for a coach to get there, then come on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Another thing as well. You're lucky to be going, and when are we going to see Leicester in the FA Cup final again? Really, it's a massive
every
experience.
year, Josh. Every year.
It is true, because, like say, at the end of the day, it could so easily have been no fans there.
Exactly.
We're still in a pandemic. Be thankful you've got a ticket. I mean, I got really excited this time last night. I got an email off the club saying that, because I'm a member, not a season to go, I was going to go in a draw for a ticket. Unfortunately, didn't get it, but the fact that I was in with a chance, and
that's actually a shame, mate, because I would have loved to do a straight post match if we'd have won it. You in the stands with a beer in your hand, going. I think we'd have got everybody on for that.
If we'd won it, you'd added on a cam thing from the centre circle, I'll tell you.
Yeah, we'll get you live on Sky Sports, mate. Swing your shirt around with your belly out, going, way.
Well, I tell you, if I did that, you'd see who ate all the pies. I'll tell you. Guys, thanks very much for coming on.
It's a pleasure as always, mate.
My pleasure. I just want to say quickly. I know you guys say I remind you of Tyson Fury, but Brad, with your beard and your hair at the minute, I'm big into my UFC. There's a UFC fighter called Jorge Masvidal. Google him. You're an absolute ringer for him, honestly.
If he's a UFC fighter, I want his ability to fight. Then he can have the hair and beard if that's the case.
He's tough, man.
I'm going to say, Josh, you are only talking from the neck upwards, aren't you, Josh? Because the rest of him.
He looks just like him. So keep the beard. Honestly, when you finish here, Google him, because you look just like him. It's funny.
You have to send me the name so I don't get the name wrong, because I'll be spending ages trying to find that.
Guys, thank you so much for coming on. It's never easy when we've lost, but hey ho, onwards we go, eh?
Nice one. Cheers, chaps. I've enjoyed it. Really have.
Hopefully, thanks so much. Hopefully, see you both on Tuesday. By God, have a good weekend off, and try not to sort of get too upset or excited about the results.
And you, lads, have a good one. I'll speak to you later.
Cheers. Thanks very much, guys. Take care.
Bye, fellas. Bye-bye. Take it easy.
Cheers. So, thanks to Brad, and thanks to Josh there for joining us in. Yeah, it's never easy when you've lost a game. Back straight after this.
This is Leicester Till I Die TV. Please subscribe now on YouTube.
Okay, so last couple of comments here. Kevin, the Newcastle fan, you guys have true owners who care about you. As a Toon fan, I agree with what you say. Brad, greedy top six. I'd have had them, built them out. They've all come back with their tails between their legs. They certainly have, Kevin. They certainly have. I would have kicked them out as well, to be honest with you. You guys deserve everything you get. Hope you win the cup, stay in top four, and shove two fingers up to the big six. Hope we can be up there with you one day. guys, mate, Kevin, you've got a great club there. You've got a great club. I know there's more ongoing things. I think about your takeover. I really hope that it sorts itself out for you. I really do. David, thanks to all. Thanks, David. David saying you made the game tolerable with your comments. Thanks. I tell you what, just get a bottle of gin, a bottle of whiskey. That'd make it even more tolerable. I'll tell you. Look, we're playing on Tuesday. Can you believe? No, I'm going to have to double check because I think we get a day off. I think we actually do get a day off here. But let's just have a look. We're on twice on Monday, so you can catch us at 7 o'clock when we'll be doing an opposition view show. I'm with Rich from Rich Sports, Man United site. Really not looking forward to that. And then at 8:15, we'll be doing the preview show. So fitting those in on 2 on Monday night. And then back on Tuesday, it is a 6 o'clock kickoff. Oh, my God. 5:10, we'll be here with the pre-match show, hopefully with Josh. 6 o'clock, the match. And about 8:15, me and Jesus or whoever that fighter was, I don't remember his name, Brad, will be here for the post-match show, hopefully being a little bit happier than we are now. Look, this is football. It's what it is. We'll never change. We are Leicester. This is football. This is what we've got to put up with. Thanks very much, guys. Try and have a good weekend. Stay safe. We'll see you all Monday night. Good
Hello,
night.
Matt Elliott here. Be sure to watch Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and follow all their social media platforms for all the latest updates and news on Leicester City Football Club.
Thanks for watching Leicester Till I Die. This is Chris saying goodbye and see you next time.
Some people are on the pitch, they think it's all over. It is now.